daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Daily Newcastle podcast. My name's Iain Mackay. I'm your host. Newcastle 1, Arsenal 3. And I'm not making a prediction for Sunday's game. I'm trying to actually tell you what the facts are, that there's me here for Newcastle, and I'm joined by three of Arsenal's finest, JD, Rodney, and Craigie. How are you, boys? And thanks for joining me.
Yeah, we're good. Thanks for having us in. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
I know. It's a bit tough, isn't it? Where do I start? We will talk a little bit of Newcastle, but we're probably going to talk a lot about Arsenal. But then, as a Premier League fan, I'm very interested in Arsenal. Second for each of the last 3 years. Of course, you could have been pipped for second had we managed to win it at your place, second game from last season. We still remember that. It's all right. It's just something we remember, all right, because you never get that close when you're a Newcastle fan. First and foremost, we were talking beforehand. I was very impressed with the Arsenal transfer window. And then you went and bought Eze and Hincapié as well.
Yeah.
You guys must be buzzing with the way you've strengthened your squad. How has it shaped up? Who's got into the team and made a big impression to start with, and who you're disappointed with? Any one of you?
I think it's an interesting one because I think disappointed. I haven't really seen anyone I'm really disappointed with. If there's one disappointment, it's the fact that Piero Hincapié is injured, and I was really excited by what I saw in the Bilbao game, that 6 minutes, and I'm disappointed in the sense that he's not getting more game time. But for everyone else that we've picked up, I think no, everyone's been really impressive. There's been no poor performances. There's been a few surprises too. I think Christian Mosquera coming in there and deputizing for William Saliba was probably the biggest surprise. Came in there immediately, after that Liverpool game.
A bargain, wasn't he?
Yeah, 13 million. Yeah. And it's looking like we might need to go back and give him some more money. It's ridiculous. Really, really impressive talent. Very, very surprised with his performances. And I think with Noni Madueke as well, like JD and I talk about this too, like both kind of rated him while he was at Chelsea. But there was a lot of kind of kerfuffle with a lot of the Arsenal fans. A lot of people weren't happy with that signing. Yeah. And I think he was one of the players that came in there, hit the ground running immediately, and looks a very different player. So that's been something to really watch and be impressed by.
Well, he looks a totally different player. I mean, Madueke was somebody that we were linked with because everybody knew we needed to strengthen on the right wing.
Yeah.
But they talked about Semenyo and they talked about Alanga and Sirius. They talked about Mbeumo. There was a long list of players before Madueke. I mean, he'd nearly have been as bad as signing Nicholas Jackson as a centre forward. But Madueke is a different player at Arsenal, a different player for England as well, which is where I'm first exposed to how fantastic he has hit the ground running. But he's got injured, which is a shame. How long is he out for?
I think they need to do some scans early next week to really estimate it. But the story we heard when the injury news came out was it could be up to 2 months, could be a bit shorter than that. We'll find out next week when the kind of real diagnosis comes out, but it's probably going to be a fair few games, so a bit disappointing. I guess you could say one positive is Saka's now just come back, but I don't really like the one in, one out policy. Yeah. It makes me want to wrap Saka up in bubble wrap.
That is the power of the squad, though, isn't it? And that's what you've done. You've not just improved. I'm not sure you've improved a lot of the quality of the first team squad, although Gyökeres is a player you didn't have in that first team squad, centre forward.
Yeah.
But you've certainly improved the depth so that you can take an injury or two and in your stride without it affecting the lineup. Now, I'm a little bit sympathetic about what happened to Madueke, but what about buying a centre forward, paying twice as much as he's worth, and sending him off to play an international game, and him coming back with a 6-week knee injury before he's even trained with the squad? Because that's what we've done with Wissa. Apparently Wissa and Jacob Ramsey, who managed a half before Sean Longstaff, of all people, crunched his ankle and put him out for 2 months. They're both due back at the end of the second international break.
Wow.
But between them, we've seen them play for 40 minutes. Not to worry. We made other signings. We've got a good squad. Our depth is there as well. What about you, Craigie? Who's the best of the 8 signings in your book?
Madueke and Mosquera.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. They have been fab. They have been really, really good.
Mm.
So, how's the start of the season? Just to encapsulate for the Newcastle listeners, if they don't know, Arsenal have stuffed Leeds and Forest at home. They were, I don't know if you'll agree with this, as a neutral watching, quite fortunate to win at Old Trafford. I thought that was a really good game. Both
Yeah.
teams played well. Controlled the game against Liverpool and ended up losing it.
Mm.
We all know what that's like.
Yep.
And I escaped, I think, with a point last week at home to City, which was a strange game.
Mm.
Neither team seemed to want to go for it. So watching a game for an hour and a half where both teams are standing off each other is odd. How are you? Are you pleased with 10 points after 5 games?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Because I think at Anfield, I'll take a point any day of the week. You know, we haven't won there since Duabi. No, Duabi was playing for us, I think, and Cazorla scored that
Right.
goal. I think that's a lot. I think was that 2012. I think is that
2012, yeah, 2012.
It's more than 10 years ago, definitely.
Yeah. So a point at Anfield, I'll take that. The City game was a weird one because I knew it would be some sort of tactic masterclass from Pep and Arteta, but I didn't know it'd be like that. Like I didn't think, that Man City would sit back and we would have chances in the game, and we didn't really take our chances.
Mm.
But on paper, would I take a 2 points, a point from City, a point from Liverpool? Yeah, I probably would. So I'm not terrible yet, but we could do better. If we want to win the tie, we've got to do better.
Yeah.
Is that the same for you too, JD, Craigie?
Yeah.
What is it? A 6 out of 10? It could have been better, but it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's not horrendous, It's by no means saying that we're completely written off, but I do feel that in those 2 games, Liverpool and City, I think best of the best. I agree with JD. I would have happily taken a point, a 0-0 draw, or maybe a 1-1 at Liverpool, but I think the City game we maybe could have gone out and won that. If we'd had maybe a bit of a shift in tactics, maybe shown a bit more ambition there, and I think I'd be happy with that result. I'm comfortable right now because I think some of the performances and some of the signings have really kind of hit the ground running and been impressive. But I do feel of those first 5 games, yeah, maybe I'd give it 7, 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
It wasn't a 10. It could have been.
It wasn't a 10. It wasn't a 10. No.
Yeah, it wasn't like Liverpool. Yeah, there you go.
To be fair, Liverpool get 10 for being spawny, don't they? They really, because their performances are not 10 out of 10. Everybody's had a chance against them.
Yeah.
Their winners have come in in injury time in all 5 of their games.
Yeah.
Which I think you can't keep doing that. Someone's going to catch them. Someone's going to catch them out. Anyway, fingers crossed someone catches them out. We don't want it to be finished by bloody Christmas, do we?
Yep.
We've got 6 points out of our first 5 games. We were disappointed not to get anything out of that Liverpool game. That was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Got a 1-0 win against Wolves. A lot of new players bedding in. Pleased to get a goal because our other 3 games have all finished 0-0. So this year, before Bradford scored on Wednesday, it's only Barcelona and Liverpool that have managed to score against us. I think we've got the lowest shots faced in the Premier League this season.
Yeah. Wasn't it
It's going to be hard.
5 matches in the league and 4 clean sheets? So I said, yeah, you've been
something like that. Yeah,
been pretty solid actually.
Yeah, we are. The reason for that is that Shah and Byrne are pretty strong in defence anyway.
Yeah.
But we've bought Botman seems to be back to full fitness. You might remember from the season before last, he is a Rolls Royce when he's back up. And we bought Chow, a German from AC Milan, who looks really good. Does things like instead of knocking the ball back to Nick Pope, he does a Cruyff turn and beats a centre forward and then comes forward with it, which we haven't seen for a while. But yeah, so I think defensively we were fine, but we started to get very worried about not being able to score in 4. We scored 2 against Liverpool and a goal. So the 2 home games we've scored, none away from home. But it looks very exciting when we watch them on against Bradford. Now I know it was only Bradford, but I think we had 27 shots.
Oh wow!
So really, we should have scored more than 4. And that is all without that relative centre forward. So when Wissa comes back, yeah, we're hopeful. Look, that's the opening to the season and transfer windows finished. Let's hear from Ken, and we'll get into something about the actual game tomorrow.
Your body is unique, and Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
Ken, I did a podcast with Nick Britton, who at the end of that said, every time I hear Ken do that advert, I need a shower. And you know what he means, don't you? Oh, dear. Part 2. Now, having discussed how good both defences have been this season, I'm going to say this because I'm hoping that, Sod's Law will mean I'm completely wrong, but it doesn't look as if it's going to be a goal fest tomorrow. Cue a 3-all draw, that'll be good. Now, that when the crowd gets up and it's 0-0, it gets very tense. But I do think that just in recent years, maybe since Howe came to Newcastle, the Arsenal-Newcastle games, whether it's at your place or at our place, they have an extra edge. And we love winding Arteta up.
Yeah.
Asking him if he's going to cry and all that, and so I join in as well. We're all like it. What happened? Why is Newcastle Arsenal become so not bitter, really? Because it's all done in good fun, really. But I mean, why is it so spicy now? Any clues?
I know.
Bruno. Your captain.
Yeah, to be fair, he's quite the character, isn't it?
It's him and Trippier. Them two, every time we play against them, they're always physical, kicking, leaving their studs on players. So I would say them two start up and they get even the League Cup game last season. I think them two, they get into us straight away. As soon as you get the ball, boom, tackle. So I think it's them two.
I get that. I mean, I don't think it's a one-way street, though, is there? I can remember Havertz coming in on Sean Longstaff about 20 yards outside our own box, and a ball going out for a throw-in, and Havertz went through him like he was trying to cut him in half. Lucky boy to stay on, we thought. I think you guys thought as well.
Yeah.
But it's not. It can't just be spicy tackles because I mean, let's be honest, Trippier and Joe Linton and Bruno, they do that every week against everybody.
They do.
I don't know. We were thinking when we discussed it, it's a little bit because we went a lot of games with the same record against you as we have against Liverpool and Man City, where we couldn't buy a goal even, let alone take a point. But in recent seasons, we've been quite competitive, certainly at St James's. But even last year, when you got down to the League Cup first leg semi-final, we won there. It's unheard of. So I'm just wondering if that might be maybe where the upstarts are starting to get too big for our boots, or maybe you're a little bit. These guys should know their place and not come here and start kicking lumps out of us at home. What do you think?
For me personally, why I don't really like Newcastle. I remember that season where we had to win at St James's Park to get top 4.
Yeah,
we lost.
Oh yeah, missed out the Champions League. Yeah,
was killing us, and I mean Arteta looked like he literally looked like he wanted to cry. For me, that day I did not like Newcastle. Like, I don't like going to St James's Park on that day.
Sorry,
I'll never forget. I was so proud.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I mean because we've won once or twice against you. I don't mind Arsenal now, but we never used to get anything, and I used to hate them. But I hate Liverpool now because we still can't win against them, or we did in the Carabao Cup final. But they just keep scoring last minute goals to beat us, their place and our place. So frustrating. Yeah. So we really hate them now. Kev's always hated them. Anyway, have you got any injuries, suspensions, or full? Well, I know Madueke's out. Anybody else is out, or how do you think you're going to line up?
Yeah, there's a few that we've got unavailable. I think Odegaard is still a concern, but I think Arteta said in his press conference on Friday that he's going to train with the team and he'll see if he's available for selection that weekend. We know, again, last time we beat you at St James's Park, Odegaard was present, even scored in that game too. So we'll see.
Yeah.
It might be a huge boon if he is fit and ready for that one. We know Madueke is out, Jesus is out. Havertz is going to be out as well. Hincapié is probably still nursing a groin injury, so it's probably at least 4 players that we're not going to have readily available too. But yeah, other than that, we've still got most of the squad. So I think that's not going to affect the lineup too much. You'll probably see it set up quite similarly to how we set up in previous games.
Yeah.
I think the question is really going to be if Odegaard's fit or not. Because if he isn't, I know for one, I'd like to see Eze in that right-sided number 8 position. If
Really?
he's not there, yeah. If Odegaard's not fit, I think I'd like to see Eze kind of play there. And also, if he's been out for a while, so even if he is fit, I could see Arteta maybe playing Eze, and then you rotate. If the game's going well, you kind of rotate maybe at the hour mark, get Odegaard in there, build up his match fitness again. I could see that. But because Newcastle is such a physical team, and yeah, you guys stifle us with that mid block, and your defense is so robust, it's a real battle in that midfield. And so to maintain possession, I could easily see him do the usual Zubi, Rice, Marino. And I know there's a lot of Arsenal fans are not going to be happy with that, but I could see Arteta doing it.
Zubamendi's usually the number 8, is he not? Is he in midfield?
Zubi's our dedicated 6 now.
Back?
Yeah, Zubi's
right,
our lone 6 now. But again, there's also a question. Again, your midfield is so physical, and we've seen that Zubi in the Liverpool game as well. There was one chance that Van Dijk had, distribution error out to Zubi. Van Dijk muscled him off the ball as well. Zubi's physicality when he's caught and isolated, might come into play here. I still trust him because that's what he's been playing for the majority of this season. But it's true,
Right.
I think there's going to be battles in that midfield, and team selection will really depend on how much Arteta views winning that physical midfield battle as a priority.
Would you start Norgaard?
Zubamendi fooled me into being a number 8 by scoring those 2 fantastic goals that he did.
It's true.
That was a great strikes. What a strike! Possibly that might be the best strike I've seen this season. Actually, yeah. So, have you not had your Brentford man? Has he not come in to stand in for his compatriot?
He played Port Vale. He started Port Vale. Yeah. So he did in Port Vale's game, and then I think he did in pre-season too. But he was injured for the very start of the season, so he was kind of started out. Just came back again versus Port Vale. Craig, I know you were asking, would I start Norgaard as well? I think there's an argument for it. Physical. But this is what I mean. I think there's an argument for it. Would I? Probably not. But I keep him as an option. I said if Zubi starts struggling, you might want to have the experience and the physicality of Norgaard if you start getting bullied by Guimaraes, Tonali, and the rest of them, man. So I said, fair enough.
You'd be 4-3-3. It's 4-3-3 every week with him, isn't it?
Yeah. Usually that's it. In possession.
See, in my predicted lineup, I've got absolutely no idea now. We've got so many options. Yeah. We played 5 at the back when we went to Leeds. Actually, we're trying to duplicate the 5 at the back in the semi-final, I think, which worked really well at your place because we could press and break really, really quickly.
Yep.
It's a lot harder without Isak being the front pivot, if I'm honest. We've got to learn how to do that in a different way. Of course, Elanga might start, who's got pace to burn.
True.
To be able to sit off and do that. So I don't know. My first gut feeling was that we would start with the 5 at the back to be super safe. But then the more I think about it, I don't know. We might be 4-3-3 and just go man to man like we did. We were good at pressing man to man.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of, Gordon's going to come back this one. I know we talked about injuries. We've got Wissa and Ramsey out, but the rest of the squad is pretty fit. Jacob Murphy's apparently managing his Achilles, but he didn't play on Wednesday, so presumably he's all right. But I don't know. I can't even guess what the lineup is. I mean, we're only 5 games into the season, so I've not really got a flavour for it. It's always Eddie Howe is always 4-3-3, always with the 2 wingers. But with Livramento and maybe Hall as wing backs, we can be quite attacking with 5 at the back, and those 2 come in. So I can't help you. If you were taking notes to pass on to Arteta,
yeah,
I can't give you any clues as to how they line up, which is nice. Which is nice. Yeah. I'm going to pause there, and we'll get onto some predictions of how you think the game's going to go. And obviously,
Okay.
3/4 of part 3 is going to be Arsenal, isn't it? That's just fair. But yeah, so I would tell you what, I'll do this because I do love it, and then I'll come in with the Zencastr advert.
All right.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Here at the Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery platform. Zencastr came out the clear winner. With 4K video recording from your phone and AI editing that automatically removes all those ums and ahs and way your buggermans, it's super easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. If you're ready to tell your story, check out the link in the show description to learn more about Zencastr. Part 3. Welcome back. Predictions. How do you think... I'm going to go from left to right. And JD, you were here first, so you get first shot. How do you think this game's going to unfold? And you've got about 90 seconds. Go.
It's probably going to be a boring game, to be fair. It's going to be a low block from you guys. We're probably going to make not that much chances, and yeah, I don't see it being an end-to-end game. If we do win, I'd probably say a 1-0 win. If we probably get a lucky goal early on or late on, we're probably from a corner, or maybe Saka might score a goal. Yeah, probably won't be an interesting game to watch. One probably miss. I'll probably take a point, in this game. I just don't want to lose it.
So are you going to go for a score prediction? Get it in early?
I'm going to go... Well, 1-0 to the Arsenal. Go on. 1-0 to the Arsenal.
You guys will have to be creative then. Well, how do you think it'll go, Rodney?
I think very similarly as well. I think for my score prediction, I think same situation. I was thinking a 1-0. If it gets really crazy, maybe a 2-1. But I don't see it being a crazy game. And I think because you've got some issues in attack as well recently, I think KG 1-0, similar to that. I think you're going to set up low. You've always stifled us with that kind of back five and also that kind of physical pressure in midfield too. I think it's going to be difficult to play through you, difficult to create as many chances, and again, always a tough game away from home. I think KG battle up until maybe towards the end of the game, and I think maybe it might be a spark of Arsenal creativity. I'm hoping, and then we can nail that. But history would show that it would probably be a 2-0 defeat away, and we'd be devastated. So I'm praying we can break form.
Well, watching the first 5 weeks of the Premier League, it might come down to who's got the best long throw-in, won't it? I think you're very, very threatening from any sort of set ball, dead ball situations. But that said, Dan Burns playing like he's made of bricks and he's 10 foot tall.
Yeah.
So it'll be close. It'll be close, and I think it'll be dead ball situations that turn it, unless Elanga gets everything right and we can see him race away. Because if he gets away
transition,
he gets away on the halfway line, you'll have to be on a motorbike to catch him. What do you think, Craigie? How do you see the game turning?
I think you guys are going to score first. Maybe 2-1 win. Arsenal win.
Yeah.
Wow.
2-1. Well, that'd be more entertaining to watch than 1-0, of course.
Yeah.
Excellent. I don't know how we're going to line up. I know Arsenal will be robust. Do you think it'll be Saliba and Gabriel at the back?
Yeah, it's got to be.
They're fit now. What about Saka? Is he match fit now? He had a run out against Port Vale, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that was partly due to get his match fitness up so he can start this game as well. So I think he'll start on Sunday.
He destroyed us in that aberration of a game in the middle of all of this last 3 or 4 years where he won 4-1 and we were lucky to get the one. It was Saka who ran that show. So he's someone who we're always a bit wary of. And I don't know, Gyökeres. Is Gyökeres the centre forward that wins you the league title? I like him. He's a good old-fashioned centre forward to me, but he's got a little bit more to him about that. I love the way he cut in and scored a Harvey Barnes type goal against Leeds. I think was that the first goal against Leeds?
Yeah, that was his first, and then the pen after. Yeah.
how's he shaping up? Should I be worried about him?
Yes.
Yeah, I do think so. I think the issue with Gyökeres is there are some weaknesses in his game that need to be tightened up, but I think really the biggest issue is there's a lot of runs that he makes and a lot of kind of attacks that he makes that a lot of our midfield and kind of wingers aren't seeing. So he gets quite considerable lack of service in some of these games. So the question is like, do you need to be worried about him? Yes, but if he's not fed, then you can just sit back and relax. I need to make sure he's fed, and if he is being fed properly, he'll be one to watch in that game.
Yeah, I agree.
Of course, in Newcastle, we want Gyökeres to score at least 30 goals this season. Not on Sunday, by the way, but at least 30 goals this season. Because he'd be first choice centre forward for Sweden at the World Cup then. And they'd have to have that other fellow would have to sit on a bench.
So you can bench Isak.
I'm guessing it still hurts.
Why not? Why not? Alanga playing, Isak watching from the sidelines. To be fair, Sweden have started so badly on their World Cup campaign; they'd be looking to qualify to get there.
Yeah.
So that might be my only consolation. My prediction for the game is again tight and cagey. I think you will do a bit of a sitting off rather than going all out gung ho as well. Maybe to draw us out, and we might well get a little bit tempted on that. But you know what Newcastle are? They'll press really high, waiting for Raya to give us a free gift. He's done that a few times at St James's Park.
Yeah.
And if you play through that first press, we'll be very quick to drop back to 5-4-1, trying to win the ball back off you, and maybe try and hit you on the transition there. Because Gordon down the left, Alanga down the right. You might play Asula centre forward, who's as quick as both of them, and scored twice against Bradford. We've got a lot of pace, and I think that's how we will get through. So, score predictions, I'll go for 2-0 because, like you say, history repeats so often, doesn't
History
it?
repeats itself.
2-0. A 2-0 Newcastle win, which is one goal more than I did when I did the preview with Michael last night. But I think we'll win. I think we'll win, and I don't think Arsenal will score because I think we just don't concede goals these days.
Wow. Okay.
I've condemned us to a 4-0 home defeat now by saying.
Wait, so Ian, if it's 2-0 for you, I said who are the scorers? Is it Alanga and Gordon then? Is that who you're going for? No Walter.
I think Gordon will score because he always does against Arsenal. And then Voltemada's excellent. You'll be surprised when you see him. He looks a little bit like a Peter Crouch who hasn't been introduced to the rest of his team members at the moment. But there are flashes. You watch the full games, there are flashes of some superb touches. So, and he, like you were talking about Gyökeres, he's fantastic at laying the ball off. And the other players haven't twigged yet. But when they do, that will be so slick. I don't know if you saw the goal against Barcelona, but that must be one of the swiftest moves I've seen. All one-touch stuff. Voltemada key at laying the ball out to Murphy to get the cross in. So I want to see more of that. And I know it was only Bradford, but I was really excited by the different shots and approaches and who was creating. And we played quite a strong team. Bruno and Joe Linton played the full 90 against Bradford. So I'm hoping that we're going to have I hope we can getting through more than you would expect. So I'm going to go for 2-0. But that's only because you three have all picked an Arsenal win, and I have to be picking a Newcastle win, don't I?
Got to back your team,
I'm gonna wrap it up there. It's been really you've been very kind, by the way. The three of you could easily have ganged up on me and not let me say anything. So I must thank you, JD, Rodney, and Craigie for joining me. And we'll be tuning in at 4:30. I can't get a ticket for it, of course, not for love nor money. We're tuning in at 4:30 on Sunday to see how we get on. Commiserations, boys.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.